All right, are we ready to do some more work on this? I hope so, because that's what's going to happen right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. This, of course, is our Junkyard Super 77. And we're slowly making it more better with the pieces that I accumulate. In the last installment, we did a lot of stuff. We got our hydraulic unit put back together. Oh, we put that air cleaner on it. We got things freed up. We got the steering wheel off. And we're moving along with progress. But now, what I want to do is I want to get that rear end drained out and swap this cover right here. Of course, I have the replacement cover that I found on the old internet machine, and it was super cheap because it's a fixer-upper, like most things in my life. It has a crack like most 88s do. This is a 77 size. They usually don't crack, but this one did. So we need to weld that up. It's got a couple in the corners, I think here, which doesn't really affect anything because that's way outside the sealing surface, but whilst we're welding, we might as well fix that up too. And then what I'm going to do before we put it together, of course, is paint it, and paint the underneath especially. Paint the underneath before we put it on, and we can paint the top when we, after the fact, you know, if we have to. We'll just see. But one of the first things I'm doing before anything else, I mean, it's going to need some straightening and things. I'm trying to get these light wire clips off of here. So that's going to be my next focus, is getting these off for now so that we can work. And then we are going to I'll go weld the stuff. It's up here actually. I'll weld that, and then the two corners, and we'll get that squared away, and then it'll be ready hopefully for painting, because otherwise how would you ever paint underneath here? You won't. So that's why I'm going to do it that way. I also have that rear end pretty well cleaned up and ready to paint, so I could paint the whole center section of the rear end, you know what I'm saying, whilst we're here. That way we'd actually, you know, maybe have a chance of making it look nice, because eventually we'll take it over the hill and, you know, make it really super cool. But if we just keep making a little progress as we go, that's really helpful. So that's what I'm going to do. Light wire clips, and then I'll bring you back. It may end up I see a butterfly and wander off, and the rest of this video doesn't happen for days, so I don't know. But you will see it instantly no matter what happens. So yeah, but that's my plan. I'm going to focus on this piece and get it ready. All right, I've reached the critical stage of this project where I'm over it. So I think we're going to call this good enough. I got the one welded up here. I got both corners welded and thought I was all ready, and then I found another place that it was busted. I think it was right, is it right there? Yeah. So I got that welded up and ground down, and I think it'll be enough to pass, you know. So I'm going to meadow greenify the underneath here, and then we'll have to let it sit. So obviously it won't be the same day for me, but it will be for you in the video to go to the next part of this project. All right, we're getting ready to the point of taking this platform off. And my plan, I don't know, it keeps changing. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is take this off and then try to take all the pedals off, clean that all up, grease the pivot points and put that back together, and then whatever. But I don't want to have this open so much that I end up dropping stuff in there. So I don't know, we just have to be careful is the moral of the story. I'm pretty sure when I put this on I used the 3/8 impact. kind of hot in here without any air movement. If you recall, way back at the beginning, we cleaned and tapped every single hole. So everything here should be good to go, you know. Ah, struggling. Should have run them all the way out. Put these somewhere where they won't get lost, and where they won't get knocked into the transmission. That's what we don't want. Ooh. Ah. Much more cleaner after hosing down in that diesel fuel for a while. So, some careful scraping, some cotter pin removal. This brake pin here, I don't know what's going on with that. We're gonna have to figure that out. Hopefully we can get the bottom one out and take it all the way off. But we'll get the pedals off, and we'll clean them up and have them painted and ready to go on, I think. We're just not gonna get in a hurry with this. We're gonna do the best job we can. Since we have it apart anyway, we might as well, you know. I mean, this is the kind of stuff here you can't get to when the platform's on, so we're gonna gently work on that. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, this project is not going quite as planned, but that's okay. I got that cleaned up and got it where I can put the steering wheel on. It's just stuck on there loosely now. I need to get those little springs that hold the throttle down. No problem. I've got pedals off and cleaned up, so that's part of it there we need. I did, however, find a problem. I don't think that's the problem that parked this tractor. It's possible that it was, but there's a crack in the side of the rear end housing. I will address it. I'll grind it out and weld it, and it should be fine. I'm not even going to show it to you. You don't need to know about it. It's okay. But I'll get that fixed, and then we can continue on with what we were going to do, which is put the floor down and so on and so forth. It's taking longer than I anticipated, and that's just the way she goes sometimes. So yeah. All right, we're on the third day of this project, but I just flipped these all over and got the other side painted, so they'll be ready to go on. Progress is being made, however, slowly, because now I am going to have to weld on a transmission case, which I didn't intend to do, but I will take care of that. That shouldn't be a big deal. It's easy to get to. It's not very severe. I actually probably wouldn't even have to weld it, but it would make me feel better if I did. So anyway, now let's see here. If I can get the steering wheel where I can get to the thing. I dug through my parts pile, this ammo box I carry in the service truck, and I found one pair of these little springs. And what their job is to do is to push down on the throttle lever so it stays in those notches. So if your tractor doesn't do that thing, that's probably why. Is this going to work great? I don't know. Should probably do it with the steering wheel off. I'll probably have to take the steering wheel off because I didn't paint the top side of this piece. And I don't want to look at a rusty piece. Now this little hoo-ha's got a couple matching holes on that half. So, okay, I'm gonna have to take the steering wheel off. I thought I could do it with it, and I probably could, but it'll be easier to get that out of the way. I just barely stuck that steering wheel on, so that fixes this up where we can now. I had to really dig in those holes too, because there was broken pieces of spring stuck way down in there. Get in there. So you see that little doodabber there, how that works? Tighten that down, and the springs, that gives you just enough where you can pull it up and then what have you, and then it'll stay in those notches better. So I try to always replace those if possible. All right, we will get more on this project here as stuff is ready to put back together, and I'll just compile it all in a video, and then it'll probably be a whole nother video. Well, I probably won't show welding, but I'll weld that crack up, and then the next video will be putting the new platform down and putting the oil in and mounting the seat on, and hopefully having some moderate success at everything. But the project is coming along here. It's just slow, you know, when you find stuff. I believe that that crack probably happened in the junkyard. I think that when, over time, when people were forking on this, somebody got a little aggressive and they caused a crack. That's what I think. But it doesn't appear to go, it's not like it's going all the way down through the bottom and it's going to break in half. But I just feel like if I address it now, it probably won't get any worse. And that's what I'm after, because it's not, like I said, it's up at the top here. It's up partially in this mounting area, and then it travels down the side a little bit. So I don't know. I just don't feel like that's a, I probably wouldn't even have to address it, because like I said, it wasn't leaking or anything, but it would make me feel better to deal with it now. So that's what I'm going to do. Other things I need on this adventure, and I thought I had ordered and I didn't. I should have got the guts for this so that I could, you know, make me a rod that actually worked, because the PTO works. I mean, it's good. So there's that we'll need addressed if we want to use it to run an auger or whatever. And then over here on the wall, I just happened to find something. I was just talking about it the other day when I was trying to bend that back, remember? I said I should get another one of these for the other side, and I looked over and there's one hanging on my wall. And it's the one I want. It's a mirror image. So we can slap that on there at some point. I got a seat bumper. I got 2 U-bolts for the toolbox I dug out of my stuff. So parts are coming along, you know. It's gonna be as good as we can make it here along the way, so that hopefully maybe we could rake second cutting hay with it, or run an auger or something, because it just hasn't, it's not a complete success till we do something with it, you know, till we make it work. I should probably just buy another carburetor that's the correct one. That would solve my different size hose problem. But at any rate, I'm just rambling now. We'll wait when that paint dries. I'll bring you back and we'll grease up all those pedals and put that on. I also need to try to straighten this a little better. I thought I had more, but I think I'm pretty well out of my surplus of these brake linkage rods. But I think this one can be manhandled into a better shape. So that's what I'll do. All right, the nice part about it being 10,000 degrees outside is that stuff dries quick. So we're gonna try to get those pedals back on, see? Because when I'm gonna weld, I'm gonna have it over, I can't remember how this goes either. That would go on the outside of the brake, the clutch rod. Right? I've made a mess of this clutch rod situation. I I ain't gonna lie to you. I pulled it out of there too far, and clutch rod is kind of hard on these to do the thing. What I'm trying to say is when you put the platform on, you ain't got a lot of room between that clutch rod and the platform edge. So your wires definitely, like for the headlights, need to be tucked up and clipped to the platform so you don't have problems. Yeah. Okay, let me get the clutch pedal now. I'll slide it on there. I believe it had a washer. Again, is this all necessary? Probably not. But whilst we're here, why don't we just go with it, you know? Alright. Actually, what I'm wondering here, well, let me put the other brake pedal on and then I'll tell you. Alright, what I'm thinking is maybe we ought to use machinery bushings there to get that all the way it should be. I'm pretty sure the only thing that had one was the clutch rod. The clutch rod had one like right here. And we're going back together with all new things, if you didn't figure that out yet. But I don't know that that really is right. I believe that was on there, but I believe I could do better. I believe I could use this one, or not, or what I could do is create a mess for myself. It's just about to the point where I'm gonna quit for the day because it's just so much misery out here. There, see, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that will go on there. And then I can put that in there. And then that's a little tighter. And then maybe we can use this one down here. Yeah, see, that's more kosher to what is happening at this juncture. That's too big. No, there we go. So I could put two on there. I could put that in there. And then that, in theory, ought to tighten up the clutch pedal a little bit from the side-to-side wobbles, if it had any. I'm sure it did. I mean, it's still got a little side-to-side wobbles, but much more better than it was. We've got our brake pedal up there, which is just hanging out down the street. And we gotta see if we can. Oh yeah, we got good. That's a little bit long for my taste, but I don't know if I can go this way. I guess I could. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get that pulled up with an inappropriate tool. Yeah. Now that's going to hit the platform probably, so I really should roll that all the way around to make it nice. Can't find my correct hammer, so we'll just use this one. That'll work. I bet when that's hooked up, it'll actually do something. Maybe we should go ahead and do that. Just a pin on the bottom. The top has a roll pin in, and I do remember seeing that before. So I'm gonna just leave her go, because I think that's gonna be fine. I mean, it's gonna be fine. That's what I'm saying. Maybe. I'm struggling a little bit, but that's because I'm working upside down with a very small brain. Brain, so smooth. Okay. Half the battle, or 2/3 of the battle, as the case may be. That takes us to over here, to this brake pedal. Can we get 2 of those on there? And I bet not. Well, it's gonna be close. See, friends? It's gonna be, there we go, look at that. Beautiful! Amazing. Totally inappropriate size. Totally inappropriate. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah! Alright. We're almost back where we started. Oh, I guess I could hook the brake rod up on that side. I did paint it. It's hanging over there on the wall. Huh. We might tackle that here in just a second. And then it will be essentially movable again, because I'm going to have to drive it over to the stick welder to, yeah, do the thing I want to do. And then we will be in business. I don't know when I'll get to that. I'm kind of wrung out on this project now again. Work on it in cycles and then get sick of it and then move on to something else. But we made a lot of improvements. I mean, a lot. We might have to just stick the seat on for temporary sake, because it would be easier to drive it without fear of dying. Let's see if we can wedge ourselves in here. Woo, buddy. See, it's never gonna go. Well, yeah, it is. It could go that far. It could go. The platform will be there. So we do need to put the pin in, if you know what I'm saying, on that one. Hope you can even see. But right here, we don't want the head of that pin to hit the platform. Man, I am struggling a lot. I am struggling a lot to try to wedge myself in here. Oh man. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. That one's in there. Now we gotta try to get this other one. Probably easier if I hunted up my water pin before I go down there. Because we ain't got a lot of room, friends. When you're big and fat, you just don't. There we go. We can't put springs on until we get the You know what I'm saying, until we get the platform mounted on, because the other end of the springs, return springs, hook on there. This brake is kind of loose, but it did work, so I'll leave that hooked up. The other brake, it needs attention. I mean, it's probably just a good cleaning would do it wonders. I got that disc off of there the other day, but I think it, see, it's sticking proud of the cover and it was locking it up. And I would say that is the result of, well, that was very rude. The camera shut off because it was too hot, but as I was saying, that brake was locked when we moved it. And I took the cover off so it would roll. And basically, I would say rust has gotten in there and expanded things, and that actuator needs pulled out and cleaned up and all that. We can do that sometime. I really want to get it though, where fix that crack, and then new platform cover, seat assembly on it, and make it where it's hop on and drivable, you know. Then we can move it in and out of here and fix brakes and whatever else. But I'm getting tired of balancing myself on the drawbar to try to drive it. So that's my plan. I would say this is going to make a video. I don't know how long it is. Maybe it's boring, who cares, but that's where we're going to leave this one. I almost forgot. One more thing we can do is put on the brake locks. Ooh. Will they fit? They better, I hope. Maybe. Not easy to do one-handed there. Those should be fine. I really should get a, well, let's look at this other one. Do they have, yes, it has a washer and then the cotter pin. So I thought that they did, but I couldn't remember. Well, that'll work. I don't know if it's really the correct size. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Is there, that's too big, I bet. Yeah. We're running thin on the sizes of cotter pins that we need, you know. I got a new pack, but I'm too stingy to break it out till we get this one used up. But that should be good. Then when you lock the brake, you know, you can do that sort of number. The spring on it, the tension holding back will make that work better, you see. Oh no, we need to do that. Gotta get it on the right side of the, watching me there, or you'll have sadness. Oh, I bet I'm not gonna have another one the correct size. That's way too big. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I'm gonna have to get some more, because that ain't gonna do anything for us if it's too big. So let's just find us a cotter pin that goes through there, and we'll address that later. We'll just give it a little bit this time. That way the pieces stay with the tractor so we don't lose. But now I think we're gonna call this a video, because that was the last two things I had ready that, you know what I'm saying. So we'll continue this project at some point. It may be that we need to get it out of here and get something else in, but yeah, that's where we're gonna leave this one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.